Abnormal vaginal discharge is a condition that affects very many women around the world, and we see many ladies seek gynecological consultation with this kind of issue because it affects their mental health, it affects their social well-being, it affects their sexual well-being, it also affects their physical well-being. So in this video, I want to look at what abnormal vaginal discharge is, the definition, the signs, the treatment. So, abnormal vaginal discharge, this refers to any atypical or unusual secretion from the vagina that it differs in color, consistency, odor, or amount compared to one's normal discharge, because the vagina normally has normal discharge. But if it deviates from the norm in color, consistency, its smell, and the kind of amount that you see, then you have to really worry. So this is a prevalent issue around the world, affecting millions of women, and it is one of the commonest reasons why women seek gynecological care. So this tells you about the burden of abnormal vaginal discharge and how disturbing it is when one suffers from it. So in this video, we also want to look at what other aspects does it affect. So it has a physical, emotional, and social impact on the individual. So it is very crucial that we promote awareness and that we detect the problem early enough to prevent any complications. For example, if it is not treated, can actually result in one becoming barren, and that is not something that anyone really would like. So always treat STDs and always wear a condom to prevent them. So if you notice any changes in the color, consistency, if you have any itching, please always consult. So now that we've looked at what the condition is, we want to now look at the causes. What causes abnormal vaginal discharge? And if you know the cause, it is always easier to now know how to treat. So stick around to know what causes abnormal vaginal discharge and how can you help yourself. Of course, there are a number of causes of this condition. There's not just one single thing, but very many things occur together to cause you an abnormal vaginal discharge. So stick around. Like I said, we are going to dive into what are the causes of abnormal vaginal discharge such that you can know how to protect yourself. Well, this is the moment. Before we go any further, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button so that someone else can be informed about. Yes, if you subscribe, if you like and you share, it helps us with the algorithm. But the next time we make a video, YouTube is going to share it with you so that you can know. Okay, so like I said, abnormal vaginal discharge can be a symptom of various conditions, including things like bacterial vaginosis, yeast infections, sexually transmitted infections, inflammation of the cervix, or pelvic inflammatory disease, among others. So one of the causes of vaginal discharge is bacterial vaginosis. This happens in an overgrowth of harmful bacteria in the vagina that can lead to someone having that fishy smell coming from down there. So if you get bacterial vaginosis, then definitely you're going to end up with abnormal vaginal discharge. Then yeast infections. This can be caused by things like candida, and if you get candidiasis, this will lead to one having that thick white cheese-like discharge coming from the vagina. And if that happens, then you're going to end up with an abnormal vaginal discharge. We have something called trichomoniasis. This is also a sexually transmitted infection which can be prevented if you wear a condom. So this is caused by a parasite called Trichomonas vaginalis. This results in a frothy greenish yellow discharge with bad smell coming from your vagina. If you pick up this, you're definitely going to end up with an abnormal vaginal discharge. Then we have this notorious thing called gonorrhea and chlamydia. Now these are also sexually transmitted infections, and if you pick up any of these, you're going to end up with an abnormal vaginal discharge. So please, I want to re-echo, always use a condom if you're going to have sexual intercourse, especially with people you do not know. Then we have something we call cervicitis, which simply means inflammation of the cervix. Could be due to infection or any other trauma. if this happens, you could lead you could end up with an abnormal vaginal discharge as well. So if you have any of these, you definitely are going to end up with that condition. Then we have something we call pelvic inflammatory disease. Now, this is an infection of your reproductive system, as the ladies, and often resulting from untreated sexually transmitted infections. So if you pick up any of the STIs and you don't get treated, then it develops into PID. You're going to end up with abnormal vaginal discharge. We have people who are allergic to irritants like soaps, some kind of underwears, and some condoms. So if this happens to you and you have irritation, this could as well, due to allergy to the chemicals or those products, you could end up with an abnormal vaginal discharge. In rare cases, if someone has cancer of the vagina or cancer of the cervix, they could as well end up with vaginal discharge. This can be a sign of a more serious condition. So if this happens, please always make sure that you seek gynecological assistance as much as you can. So what are the treatment options available if someone has abnormal vaginal discharge? First, we have to treat the underlying cause. So it is always essential, like I said, to seek medical attention from a qualified medical provider who is a gynecologist or any primary care physician to make sure that your diagnosis is correct. So this will help you to get professional help. So if they prescribe things like antibiotics in the case of bacterial vaginosis or any other sexually transmitted infections, these are going to help you clear the infection. So if the cause is bacterial in nature, you definitely are going to benefit from antibacterials. And then for yeast infections, we have antifungal medications. These can be creams and other oral medications as recommended by your doctor. So they could recommend these antifungals to help you clear the infection. If this is the cause, if it's a fungal infection, you're going to benefit from these antifungals. Then we have antiprotozoal medications. Now these are for protozoas like trichomoniasis. So these are specific for protozoa like trichomoniasis. So if you have this and the doctor has assessed, they're going to write for you some pills which are going to help you. Now, if you're allergic to condoms or other fabrics or soap, why are you even washing your vagina with soap? Just clean water is okay. So addressing any irritants by avoiding them as much as you can is going to help you avoid allergic reactions. And if you avoid the allergic reactions, you could end up avoiding the abnormal vaginal discharge as well. So like I said, it's very important to identify where the cause is and treat it as much as you can. So it's always very important. The cause can be an infection, as the case of PID, or it could be cancer, especially if it's coming from the cervix. So make sure that you practice proper hygiene, have safe sex by using condoms. Please use condoms. They are cheap, even easy to use, and even free in some health facilities. Always go and visit your gynecologist for checkups to make sure that you are healthy. As I said, if you have reached this end and you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, this is the time for you to hit the subscribe button as much as you can to help us grow, create more content for you, and to recommend the video for others. Thank you so much.